were so close, my 4-power scope, it was just like a big gray mass, and I just saw like front shoulder crease.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to meet with me today and talk about your hunting experience. So, Ray and Andrew,
yes.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for driving down here. That's pretty awesome.
Of course. I'm like so happy to be here with you guys today. And Chloe. And also, we should probably mention Nick for coming over and helping with
thanks, Nick.
Some of the audio.
He's going to shoot his bow.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be here listening to us. Anyways, so the reason I really wanted to talk to you guys is because, well, let's talk about how I met you first. Where did I meet you? Was it a BHA? It was a BHA film night?
Taren drew my name, and I won a Yeti cooler.
Oh, I did. Yes. I did. I went up on stage. They had me pull the raffle. That's so funny. I forgot about that. I totally forgot that I
was being a creepy. You and Brad were sitting like just ahead of me, and I'm like, that's Taren. And I'm like,
my name.
I gotta text her, but I don't. I'm a creepy guy sitting behind. Hi, I'm behind you.
I feel like when you go to hunting events, because we all know each other on social media, like everybody knows who everybody is. And then you go to these events, and if you've never been like formally introduced or never met in person, it's so awkward. It's like, how do you make that first introduction? Like, hi, I know your internet handle, but my name's Taren. Like,
yes.
Oh, it's so awkward.
Last weekend, I went to the Born and Raised with the live podcast with Cody Rich.
Which I saw you at last year.
Yes, yep, the year before. This year, I came out with a brilliant $1 million scheme. I'm gonna have hello my name is, but it's gonna be hello my IG name is.
That's a really good idea.
And then my real name after it. So
that's really fun.
And then you just stick them on, boom. And so I had several people come up to me and go, "You're Pacific Giants."
Yeah.
And then I thought that was pretty cool. That was my first time having people coming from.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so
you're like getting really involved with the community.
No doubt, it's pretty neat. It's a small community.
It is. It's very small.
It's very
the more you get involved, the more you realize how small it is.
Yes.
But the reason I really wanted to talk to you guys is because I remember that first time I met you at the BHA film night. You were just telling me all these stories about hunting with Andrew and how you guys were doing that, and I was really intrigued because I have kids and we're going to be starting them in the Mentored Youth program that Oregon does, and I wanted to talk to you about your experience with that program and kind of share, because I didn't even know about the Mentored Youth program because they didn't have it when I was a youth hunter. It started in, I think, 2007. I want to say it started in 2007.
Yeah, I'm not sure what year it started.
But well after I grew up hunting, and so let's kind of talk about that, and I wanted to find kind of what that program is first, so people listening can get an idea if maybe they don't know what it is.
Okay, Andrew, do you want to answer this?
I think you can start, and then I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
who is it for? Who benefits? Who can be a
It benefits from 9 to 15 years old. So last year it was 9 to 13, and it would have been Andrew's last year, and he wouldn't have been able to do it. Now they extended 2 more years, so I guess 14, 15. So we like right on that cusp of, so it was perfect timing for Andrew's part.
It is.
So I was fortunate to have another 2 years spending time with my son.
That's
great. It takes a commitment of the parents, really. I mean, to sacrifice your tags, because I want to see him have as many opportunities as possible.
That's wonderful.
And so having him fill my tag, and then when he turned 12, he could buy his own, and once he passes the hunter safety class, then he could actually go and get his own tag. But you cannot have the same. I cannot hunt like we'll just use general season rifle deer tag. I can't have the tag and then he has the same tag. He can shoot mine and shoot his. That doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It has to be separated.
It needs to be different species.
We got like 500 geese.
Now we have
flying.
geese coming by. What are the first geese that have come by the whole time?
Yeah, no.
What if we've been here for an hour and no geese have gone by?
It's that time of night. They're going.
So, what I've read about the program is that it's basically just like an introductory program to kind of get kids' feet wet and get them like dabble into hunting without having to do the full commitment of going through the hunter safety. And just to give them the experience.
It's not benefiting the hunters as much as the state of Oregon thought it would. You still have to get the parents involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's actually not as big a program as it should be.
Yeah.
But what they're finding out now, getting 30-year-olds more into hunting, will benefit children because they're just starting their families or their kids are just getting the age to hunting, and so maybe they'll go. Like I used to go out with my grandparents, and then they passed away, or I went to college, and then I got back, and then I just haven't, or military, whatever, started a career. About 30, you're just coming back into starting your life, you know, after that. So I think that's our most important, is hitting the 30-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
It kind of defeats the purpose of the mentor program. I love it, but
doesn't defeat the purpose.
it's gonna, I think it's there for people like me, and I'm pretty sure like people like you and Brad.
Absolutely.
It's going to be absolutely perfect for your boys and your girl.
Like I'm already like ready to forfeit my tag for my kid.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
then you're gonna have a
I'm
lottery
like, I have
system.
1.5 years.
You're gonna have a lottery system because you only get one tag.
Yeah.
So your twins are gonna be like.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna have
I'm gonna have. Thankfully,
you're gonna have
my
a draw
mom.
system.
My mom and my dad
points.
both hunt, so I'm going to be like, Grandma, you're taking Jordan, I'm taking Hayden, this person, you know.
Yes.
But Jordan, she's well above the twins in age. So,
Yes. Is she 10?
She is 7 right now. She's almost
7.
8.
Oh my gosh.
So the
so
twins
tall.
are only 3. They're going to be 4 next month. So we have a time in between. She can have her own tag by the time they get there. But that is funny. By the time the twins are hunting, it's like one parent on each one. You know, taking them. But that's how it is now. Life is crazy. It's absolutely nuts. But it's all good. So any kid can be a member or do the Mentored Youth Program if they fill out basically an application or a form.
You just have to sign up for the mentor program. So just go to any Fish and Wildlife office and just sign them up. It's free.
Okay.
And as soon as they do that, they get a preference point. 1 point.
So awesome. And they get one every year, right?
They get one every year.
That they sign up, and you have to sign up every year.
Sign up. And it doesn't matter. You can sign up December 31st as long as it's an open store and get that preference point.
Oh,
you could actually
for that past year.
Correct. And when they hit 12, when they hit 9, you could buy points. You could buy your 100 deer, 200 elk,
you can
700 spring bear.
Wow.
You could buy. So if your kid doesn't turn 9 and the season's already done, so we have to put in our applications in Oregon and April 15th. You could buy your preference points in October for everything. So you could go back. So your son or daughter turns 9 in October, and all this after elk seasons, after deer season, or even November or December. You can go back, sign them up for the mentor program at 9, or when they turn 9, and get all their mentor points.
Wow.
So they get their mentor point, plus you could buy $8 application fees. You can't put in for them, but you could buy the points.
Wow, that's really cool.
So,
that's a really good opportunity.
Yes,
and I feel like people need to take advantage of that.
That's what's awesome about the whole this system. But you gotta have a parent or guardian to go in and doing it. And if you don't, then you're just like my daughter. She's not into hunting yet, and I don't want to push her into hunting. I want her to choose to hunt. And when she chooses to hunt, she'll have all the points.
I was gonna say, but you're putting in points for her, right?
Okay,
wait a minute.
I buy every point that she.
You sound like my dad. My dad did that for us growing up. I mean, not the youth, not under the mentored youth, but I mean, he was like the king of points. You know, he like kept track of all of us kids and knew when to put in for party hunts and.
I just started the points, so Andrew almost has as many points as me because I didn't really care about points. I always considered I had the best tag in the state of Oregon, which is my general season archery tag.
Absolutely.
So that one is like, I could
top
go
of the list.
So many places.
You don't even need another tag because we get to hunt so much like amazing land here just with our general season archery.
And so I was like, so my hunting partner Ray Wordinger, he's like, you need to put in for points. I go, why? And he goes, wouldn't you want to hunt Rocky Mountains like an awesome tag one time, you know? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, but my heart and
it's like, but do I want to give up that other thing that one year? I know how you feel.
Yeah, exactly. So
well, for the purpose of this conversation, the preference points I think is a really, really, really prime thing that people should be taking advantage of for their kids.
And like I said, all the way up to the last day, as long as the stores are open in December, you could buy your kid, as long as they're 9, sign them up, and get all their preference points.
Wow.
And don't forget the spring bear.
Bear. Yes, now that's a draw this year, right?
No, they've been doing spring bear, the 700 series for quite a while.
But some of them, like we used to go Southwest Oregon, we could go buy it over the counter.
They still do that, and there's a limited amount. So there's only a few amounts.
I heard that this year it was going to a draw.
Oh, maybe.
Is that not? I hope I'm wrong. I don't want it to be a draw.
I'm not a spring bear
Okay.
guy. I'm too busy in the spring. It's like winter's done. I'm ready to work.
Oh, I hope it's not a draw, but I think I heard that. All right, so we know who can be the mentored youth. Who can mentor?
You want to take over that, Cinder?
I think I might be able to do this one, but it's any adult who has a tag and is licensed as a hunter. So
What's their
limit?
age?
it's anyone over the age of 21.
Yes, that is
So,
correct.
If you're under the age of 21, you cannot mentor anyone, and under 18, you can be mentored by someone over 21. So anyone under 18 can be mentored.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah, yep.
So,
and they could be. They don't even need to
They
have
don't
a
have to be a
hunting
family
license.
member or anything.
You don't need to. No, that's not right.
The mentor needs to have the active license and the tag, because the
Yes.
child is using their
yeah.
tag basically to hunt.
Yeah,
them.
so an 18-year-old would have to get their. No.
Own tags because they cannot be in the mentor system.
Yeah, they'd have their own stuff by
It's a
then.
confused.
It's a
I've been to
little
Fish and
confusing, a
Wildlife
little
several
gray
times.
right there.
So I think you don't need to have a hunting license. I mean, a hunter's card at 18 in the state of Oregon.
Oh.
I think that's just for 12 to 17.
Oh yes. Okay, that
So
makes sense.
and so I think at 18, you don't need it. I believe. I'm not 100% sure,
Okay.
but I'm pretty
We'll
sure.
have to clarify that.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
All right.
This
So
is like-
anyone over the age of 21, any person, doesn't have to be a family member, doesn't have to be a parent, it could be any legal hunter with a license and a tag over the age of 21 can mentor youth.
Yes.
Yes, that
And
is.
I want to say that you don't have to mentor them, say, for an entire season, or even say that they're going to shoot your animal necessarily. You just have to say that one time you're going out, correct?
Yep.
And there can only be one weapon.
One weapon. Yep.
And they're in your supervision the whole time. You are
Yeah.
responsible.
You can't say
for
go walk that ridge and I'll walk this ridge and we'll meet
You
in the
are
middle.
together.
You have to be with them.
Okay.
And so, which is kind of cool because I could carry a camera. So.
Yeah, so you're really like, the purpose is to really mentor them and be with them and walk with them through
Yes.
it and teach them.
And in a lot of our videos, you'll see Andrew look back to basically for reinsurance.
Yeah,
You
because
know.
you're coaching him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're his
So
mentor.
So it's I mean this year, I mean he's had several opportunities of shooting bulls with the bow. He's never done it, but he's had some. The first year it was like a 7.
Oh,
point.
yeah,
We
the-
just,
Oh, wow.
Just
I know.
like
Beautiful.
within the first week, it was just huge. Man, there's a
There's
video
just
of
nothing
me.
like it.
No.
There's like a video somewhere on YouTube of my reaction, and it's just like huge eyes,
like-
like.
yeah.
There's
did-
nothing like it.
he did the
it's-
Steve Howard, you know. He's like, it's real, and he was so pumped. He
Yeah,
was
it
like,
was awesome.
he'd never experienced the
You'll
adrenaline rush of
probably
an
never
archery.
forget that.
Yeah, no, I remember that too. Like, if I went back to that same spot, I was like, right here. That's where I saw it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, we-
hoping that when you
yeah.
went back there the
Yeah,
next
oh,
time,
yeah,
the same
this
thing
year
would
we went
happen.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like always, I feel like, think about that in the back of your mind. Like maybe if I just go back to that one ridge, I'll get that same thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't always happen that way, but it
No.
does sometimes.
It's fun to go back to that same spot and you know say
And relive
I was
it.
here, the bull was right there, and I couldn't get an arrow to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
we've
fun.
all had those opportunities.
Yeah.
Those almost, like, I always, the saying, like, bow hunting is a game of inches, and it, like, so is. That's, like,
Yeah.
it's so true. Like, inches, centimeters. Like,
Yeah.
every little thing has to line up just perfect.
And it's okay, but people don't understand. It's okay not to shoot, and that's
I think I've understood that pretty well because on a couple occasions I feel like I would have wounded an animal if I took the shot, and I didn't take the shot. So I'm pretty glad I didn't take the shot
Absolutely.
on certain occasions. Like
some
that.
were timing. The
Yeah.
cows might have been moving, and the bull's standing broadside, and I'm thinking that I'm telling myself, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. I can't say nothing because the elk were 15 yards away from the elk, and and he's at full draw, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot, because it's not even a seasoned hunter could have made that shot. It was one of those questionable shots, and he then once the cows got out of the way and the bull took off, he claps his bow, and I was like, yes, good
Yes,
job.
you made the right choice.
Boom. That's
Yeah.
if we could
Yeah.
go a season doing that, I'll take it every year.
Absolutely. No, that's a really good experience.
Yeah, and it's really fun bonding because like just being out in the wild with these amazing creatures. You don't have to get one. It's just like if I can see one, that is a successful year. If I don't see one, and I get to go out in the woods with my dad, that's still successful. It's no matter, going out in the woods is pretty.
I've got him for
Couldn't agree
maybe.
more.
I got him for 2 more years. He's gonna get his driver's license.
He's
like,
not
Dad,
gonna
who?
leave you.
Dad, who?
You said that to me the other day. I'm like, whatever. He wouldn't take off on you, would you, Andrew?
Maybe.
Oh, wrong answer. Wrong answer. So, you obviously started the Mentor Youth Hunt program when you were 9, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so what was the first hunt that you went on?
The first hunt I went on was deer, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was blacktail deer. I don't really remember much about it. I remember my Roosevelt elk much better than that one.
And that was the same season?
Yeah,
That
same season.
And you were 9 years old?
9 years old.
Wow.
I got a 5-point Roosevelt elk.
Wow.
First day of season. It was
the first time.
Not many people can say
Yeah.
that they've ever shot a
And it was-
Rosie. First of all,
it was-
and
yeah,
second
it
of all,
was-
you're 9 years old and you shoot a massive
was-
5-point.
So lucky, because
yeah.
Grandpa and I got to get there super early, and I'll wait in the truck or I'll wait on the side of the mountain before I can go in, before daylight. And he's like, nobody's going to be up there, everybody, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh Dad, let's just go. And finally get him up there, and we drive to the spot we're going to park a truck, and there's 2 dudes already. I can see headlamps going up the ridge, and I'm like, and I was like,
It's the worst.
so mad at my dad. I'm like, Dad, we call it 187. That's our 187. That's the murder, death, kill spot. And I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So I was like, let's go to 0. Well, guess what we've ever killed at 0? Nothing. That's what we call it 0. Let's go to 0, and because it's going to break daylight. Well, we parked the truck, and Grandpa dropped us off.
Yeah.
Grandpa dropped us because it started breaking daylight. So it's breaking daylight. Just drop us off.
Yeah.
And you go to 0, and we're at a different spot, and we're just gonna hike over this ridge into the swamp. And there's a big swamp, and it was like 50 cow elk bedded right on this ridge, and we were right in the middle of them.
Oh,
and
God. It was like.
and Andrew's standing probably 5-6 feet away from me, and the elks are going. Doop, doop, doop,
They're all
doop, doop,
popping up.
out of their beds.
Oh,
And
God.
he's got his little 308. And he's like, and we're like,
they just keep popping up.
Yeah, and then I'm just like,
he's looking for horn
it was
antlers.
like,
Yeah.
it was like a little arcade game, just like when like little things pop up, like where's the antlers gonna be? There's gonna be some antlers.
Yeah, because you don't see them in the
wow.
bushes until they stand up, and then
Yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh! And then I see a spike, and he's walking, and all the cows are standing there, and I say, okay, when that spike stops, just put it right behind his front shoulder and squeeze the trigger. And so we've been practicing it, and he's right on it, and then the bull just takes off running. I'm like, oh, maybe the other hunters or something else. And so I take the binocs and I scan back in the trees where the bull took off from, and all I see is another rack coming through.
Oh,
and
just the wobbler.
I'm shaking so bad I can't see through my binoculars.
Yeah.
So
I'm going
how
like
far are these elk from you? How far is this bull?
This is like
the bull's under 100, but the
Wow.
cows are like 20 maybe
Okay,
at the
so
most.
you're, like, in
15.
them.
We're
yeah,
right.
it was
in,
like because like we just pop up and then they're just like right there. It
Yeah.
was, I remember exactly like just kind of like hiking up like this little thing. Me being like the gun's like taller than me and the gun's this big. I'm tiny. Just like hiking up this like steep little knoll, and I just pop up and then there's just elk. Like we just popped up in the middle of them. It was like
That's amazing.
It was awesome.
Mhm.
And then
How lucky is that? Opening morning.
and
Yeah.
like the wind was. I remember the wind was in our face, and then
oh yeah,
it was
it was awesome.
it was awesome. Yeah.
And then we didn't even know he killed it because it died behind a tree.
Mhm.
And then elk went around this tree, all the 50 cows, and Andrew's probably, now he's like 10 feet ahead of me, and he's standing there and he's got his little 308, and he's like, I'm like, if you see him again, shoot him. And then all of a sudden they see us, but they don't know we're people, so they think we're elk, and they just start running straight at us, and here comes 50 elk, and that sound, isn't that awesome?
Oh my gosh, it's just like
that awesome sound of elk hoofs on the
Stampede.
ground, and they're just
coming right
straight
at
at
us.
us. So
It was-
Andrew like runs to my side, and he's like, Dad, they're gonna rest over. I said, no, they're not. And then they turn like 10 feet away, the whoop, and then because they seen we weren't elk. Oh, it was
Like-
awesome. And there was a couple other bulls in there.
Yeah,
and,
like spikes and like I think there was
and then
like another.
we pushed them, and we're in a general season area. It was my general season elk tag. I actually didn't bow hunt that year, so I could rifle hunt because he couldn't at 9. You can't
Yeah.
bow hunt. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just no way to pull back 50 pounds. And so we hear boom boom, and then all of a sudden the elk come out over here back in the swamp, and we're already starting to skin them, or maybe we're doing photos or something.
Yeah, something like that. But
and then the elk go back in, and then another hunter pops out and he goes, "Did you see the elk?" We're like, "Yeah, they ran that way." And then they took off running this way. And then boom, boom, another elk. And then and then they came back out, and I was like, "This is crazy," you know, having. And then you cow called them back.
Yeah, I got
to
like
us.
my hoochie mama that I still actually have it in my pack.
I love that you had it with you.
Yeah,
for the
I had
whole
it like
season and everything, just in case.
I had my little hoochie mama, and I just run out after them, kind of, and I just start like squeezing it really terribly, and then like I see a couple in the distance. I'm like, look what I did!
Look what I did! I called an elk.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
And I shot a giant bull.
Yeah, so,
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was pretty awesome. And then
Sounds
so
like
we're in
you
a
took
bowl.
full advantage of that first
We're kind
year.
of we're in a disadvantage because we got a dead elk now, and we're in a general season area, and there's a bunch of hunters around, and Andrew's wearing a orange hat, and then I was carrying our pack a orange long sleeve shirt. So if you look at like the video or the photo you took this morning, he's in complete orange, and it's my shirt, so it's like this big on him, like a dress.
He's such a little guy. He's only 9 years old.
Oh, yeah, I was short too. I just started growing like last year too.
Yeah. So it was yeah. You're gonna see my son. We're gonna be keeping this elk out, and you're gonna definitely see my son because he's gonna be in the brightest orange.
Good. That's good.
Hat is the
Safety
minimum.
first.
For a youth hunt is a hat until they turn 18.
Until you're 18, you have to have some visible from some hunter orange visible from all sides on you.
That's important.
So we use the hat until we have a kill, and then the shirts come.
Yeah. And I have a orange t-shirt. I think it actually might be the same shirt. I think it actually might be the same shirt. I have to get that out. Yeah.
It's a lucky shirt. So you started the program when you were 9. You got that incredible bull, and then you've shot a couple other animals on the Mentored Youth program as well, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
At what point did you make the switch over to bow hunting?
I think it was for elk. I know it was this year actually.
You were 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 seasons ago.
You've done 2 seasons archery hunting so far?
That was my 2
And we get to spend, archery is just so awesome. We get to spend 10 consecutive days. I take it off. That's my, I always take the last week off, but lately, since Andrew's under my tag.
Before school starts, right?
Huh?
Yeah. It's before school starts. Yeah.
So it's so awesome. So I was like, I'm taking off the whole front of the season, and then Andrew and all I do is coach Andrew. And so we
are you hunting rosies?
Yeah. And so we get it. So we got into elk one day, then we went salmon fishing.
Yeah. Oh,
That's so cool.
And then we crawdad.
Yeah.
And are you guys coming home every day? Or are you going on like a big camping trip together?
It kind of depends on like where we go. Like if we go over to the coast, we kind of just stay at our grandparents' house, and then we go from there because it's just like better than just coming all the way back here. It's a lot quicker to go over there. And yeah, and they have like a house right next to the river, so once we come back from there, we eat our second breakfast. And then
I love the sound of second breakfast.
Well, it's my second breakfast.
It's like a brunch. After you hike all morning, is that second breakfast?
It's second breakfast, yeah.
Second breakfast for me, first breakfast for him.
I don't eat breakfast. No. I eat breakfast.
I don't either. Coffee and go.
Yeah, give me coffee and let's get the heck out of there. He gets up, he has to eat breakfast or he's all grouchy.
He gets angry.
Yeah. I have like a Snickers in my pack all the time in case that happens.
You know what? It's funny you said that because we're like crazy Snickers people. Like that is our go-to candy bar every hunting season. We fill our packs with Snickers.
Yep, Milky Way and Snickers. I eat and
I like Three Musketeers. Those are like
those are my favorite.
Yeah, because they taste like if you like open up a nice. Sorry, off topic.
I would easy to get off topic. These are important things.
I had to stop myself.
You gotta have something in the pack.
These
you
are
gotta
important
have,
things.
especially if you get something down. You gotta have something in the pack.
Especially if you have like the slowest day ever and there's nothing else to do besides eat the snacks in your pack.
Yeah, I've eaten. We go up into a spot and my dad's like, we probably won't get anything, get a lot of food. So I go into my grandma's pantry and I just start like grabbing all the like pre-wrapped things like Cliff bars.
That's what you do when you're an adult too. We do the same thing.
Yeah, it was pretty good because then once we sit up on top of the mountain just kind of waiting for the sun to go down, I'm just like bunch of like just like I look at my back after I come back home and I just dump it out and there's just wrappers everywhere because I do not leave anything out in the woods. I feel really bad if I do, so I have to make sure I stand off, dust myself off, like look around.
Outdoorsman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just important to always bring out of the woods what we bring in the woods.
Yeah, like, and also something I learned like at camps and stuff leave the spot cleaner than what you left it. So if I see like cans and stuff, and if we have like, we pick up usually a lot of cans and stuff. And
yeah, it's kind of disheartening when you like
Yeah.
drive down logging roads and stuff,
then
and
there's
you
just,
just
like, a
see
can.
trash and cans.
Well, we'll go hiking a couple hours from a road. It's like, how did somebody? I mean, somebody brought a can, a drink of beer all the way into here.
I know, and then not
Yeah.
bring it back
yeah,
out.
like.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But it is kind of fun to like find like if you're going like down like an old railroad or something. I remember going down a couple of those, and we found like just a random bed of tulips or
yeah.
daffodils.
Yeah.
And it was like it was
Old
kind of like
homestead or something.
creepy because there was like
Where did
little
this come from?
metal like railroads just kind of like sticking out of the ground, and it just like horror movie kind of
Ah!
stuff. Like this is terrifying.
How did
kinda,
this
like,
get here?
Yeah.
Like you imagine the time before.
yeah, but it was pretty cool because I could just, it was kind of like you could imagine just someone like planting a nice little thing, and it was like a big area, kind of like what we're in right now. It was a pretty big area, and then it just,
We were actually it was shed hunting.
yeah,
We were shed hunting when we found those
I
tulips.
we
a
could
lot
do
of
it.
really pretty things out in the woods.
Yeah, it's pretty fun shed hunting.
Things that you don't find when you're sitting in the house playing video games.
I
That's for
Don't
sure.
play a lot of video games as much as some of my peers.
As he looks at me
as
like,
some as,
I
as some
know.
of my peers, because I knew you were going to say something.
why don't you talk about your weapons? What you
Yeah.
started
So
out
what
with,
were you
Andrew,
using when you were
from
hunting?
your rifles to
Did I hear a little 308? Is that what you were
Yeah,
starting
my
with?
AR is that.
the AR-15, the 223. That was your first deer rifle because you could. It was very accurate. We had 300 yards. I mean, we could shoot 300 yards. We had turrets on it. I mean, it's set up for
Oh
shooting.
wow, cool.
Shooting out to 5, but you know, for a kid, 300.
And the highest I think I ever shot was like pushing like 125.
That's the best.
Yeah,
You wanna
I
take
don't
long
shoot
shots.
anything really long, and all my kills have been one shot, and then it's just I've never gone blood trailing too though. So.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I know. I know. I
That's
know.
one of the worst parts of hunting.
Yeah,
Blood
that's-
trailing.
Well, it's so you get
Your
It's
emotions.
such a high and such a
Oh,
low, and then you
yeah.
run out of blood, and then you find it, and you're like, yeah. I mean,
It
it's
is the most emotional
Yeah,
part
it
of
is.
hunting.
It is. Yeah. It's very. It helps to have a nice team
Yeah.
behind you, so when you get down and they bring you back up,
Yes.
and that's
Yeah.
The
It's
support,
very easy to
the
get.
brotherhood, the
Yeah.
sisterhood, all because everybody's been through it. I mean, you obviously haven't had that experience yet, but you're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah,
You're
that's,
going
yeah,
to.
that's what I tell them. I
Yeah.
said the more don't shoot unless you're going to kill it, but eventually you'll make a mistake,
Yeah.
or something will happen, and we try to prevent that as much as we can. But
I think I've had
it's good.
one shot that was like I kind of felt shifty about, and after we reviewed the video, I shot way low because I think I bumped the scope thing, and it just kind of like you could like if you looked at frame by frame, it was like right underneath it, and the deer just like freaked out and ran off, and I like being in the heat of the moment, I thought I hit it, and we were like just looking in the area for blood
Yeah.
until dark, and I was just like my brain was like, what did you just do?
Yeah.
And
But then you reviewed the footage. And
Yeah,
it
and I'm
sounds
like,
like you
oh,
shot under it anyways.
okay, this still
That was a muzzleloader, a
yeah.
50 caliber muzzleloader, and so Andrew that particular year was trying to get 3 blacktails with 3 different weapons in the same
Wow,
season.
that sounds like quite the goal.
So how-
for such a young hunter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it was-
he
Wow.
got archery done right
Uh-huh.
away. Then he got his rifle buck right there.
This little
That-
guy
that
right
one
here,
right there.
let's talk about that.
That one,
That's
yeah.
the coolest
That
buck I've
was-
ever seen.
Yeah, so this little this monster was Southern Oregon,
Yeah,
right?
it was, yeah.
He's
So-
just a toad. Make a killer coat rack.
Yeah. So Southern Oregon, we were out there, and it was like the last day of season, and we were just like we decided to drive down a different road that we never went down before.
No, it was your choice.
It's my choice.
Yes,
I was like,
your
Dad,
choice.
what you're doing? You don't know what you're talking about. You've never shot
It's the
anything
last
before.
day,
Let
Dad.
me-
We're gonna go down this road.
Yeah, so we go down the other road, and then like half a mile in, we just see this, like a couple deer bound across the road, then draws our attention up there. The little guy's standing up there. We get out of the truck, we get up like off the hill after a ways, and then the standing, like, how far do you think it was away from us?
Well, which time? Because it was like, felt as a father, the deer's just standing there 50, 60 yards in the national forest. and you're not shooting, and then he goes a ways, you know, and then we go after it, and then we just went and finally got up to the spot, and he's just standing there. I think he was probably maybe 30 yards, 40 yards, really close.
With my 308, which is, I love that gun. That was kind of sad when I had to just switch over to a different one. But anyways, I shoot that one, and that was my first shot at any like big game animal. Like it was.
No, it was your first deer. You killed an elk, but
oh yeah. But
so this is the first
deer, and I was just kind of like.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking for me because like it was I can't remember much about that. I don't know why. I'm drawing a blank on
might have been a little crying. We might have been doing.
Wait, so this is the one that I have seen video of you dragging out, correct?
Yes, I dragged that one all the way back to the truck. I was like, Dad, I want to
awesome.
drag this one out, and I was 11.
You're 12.
12.
That was your 12. That was not a mentored hunt.
Okay.
That was your first deer on your first tag.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I was 12, and I was like, I'm dragging this one out. So
that's awesome.
Drag it all the way. I mean, on the plus side, it was all downhill to the truck.
Oh,
no,
perfect.
There was a couple
that doesn't
spots
always happen.
Yeah.
And then
in the snow this deep uphill.
yeah, but
good for you.
It was awesome because I got a little teary because like I forgot kind of what it was like,
and that was your second buck. So he'd already killed. No,
that was my first. That was my first deer, and then later that season I shot when we were.
No, that was the.
I don't even remember. I got my bigger fork.
I gotta write this stuff down.
I
got a video of it. I don't even know.
It sounds like you need to make like a hunt journal for Andrew.
You're right. So that was 12. That was your first year. That was the only thing you got that season.
Yeah, and then the next year I got.
And then 13. At 13, yes. Then I started mentoring him. At 12 during deer because you could pull 40 pounds for deer. Would you want to talk about slam bang?
I guess we have to.
Talk about what?
Slam bang. I'm going to say this first because my version is accurate.
I feel like this is going to be really good. Go ahead.
So we are still in Southern Oregon, archery.
Late archery.
Late archery, and
the rut is full swing.
Yeah, it was deer popping up left and right, getting out. It was.
Are you guys in tree stands or ground lines or just cruising?
We're blocking a road. It's 2 mile long road. We're blocking it with a truck, but still people get around us.
Yeah.
And it snowed, and we usually block it and then walk in, and it doesn't say this is our only. You know, we're hunting here. We're afraid somebody else is down there and they need to get past us, so we don't block the road. We just park it
to the
mostly
side.
in the road, so people hopefully say, "Oh, somebody's already hunting here. We won't hunt this spot," but you can still get around us.
Yeah.
And that was. We were walking in and we found 7 does and all big does.
Yeah,
and I was like, Andrew, there's gonna be the big buck around here.
So.
And then there was tracks in the snow, tire tracks. So somebody had driven in there, but we don't know if they still. And I was like, well, let's make an evening hunt. Let's go back to the truck. And this was probably in the 10, 11 o'clock range.
So we were like,
I said, let's just drive all the way to the end, make sure nobody's down here. We'll come back and we'll block the road. And then we'll walk in for an evening hunt, and we'll cook lunch. We had the Mountain House meals. Yeah. We'll just have lunch, and then we'll stay here and hunt rattle, do some calling and stuff like that.
So,
you're shaking your head.
It just snowballed. It was just a bad decision after bad decision.
So did you get a buck that day?
No, I did not.
Okay.
So we drive in. So we're driving in to check if there's anyone down there, and then there's no one down there. So we're going to drive back to go to another spot so we can walk up a ridge to go glass or whatever. And so there's the we go, and then just doe runs across, so we look up there, and then just a huge deer. My dad he doesn't even know if it was a blacktail. It was so big.
We're on the cusp of mule deer, blacktails, and I don't think there was anything on this deer that said blacktail.
Yeah, it was just.
It was.
So
we're in a blacktail area, but it looked
big. It was ridiculously huge.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't deserve one name. He deserved 2. Slam Bang.
So the reason his name is Slam Bang is because when I opened my door, I
Oh no!
it shut.
You
Force
slammed
of
the
wind.
door.
It wasn't me. It was the wind. I swear.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay.
But
Grabs
Okay.
his bow. And he-
Okay.
it just, and then the deer and my dad. He looks, and I just like slowly
Ray,
look over
your
at
heart
my
was
dad.
just breaking.
I'm like, this is my tag. I should
Oh.
just jump out and shoot this deer,
Oh.
but it's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then there was some choice words that he had with me after that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So where does the bang come in?
That's the door.
Slam.
Okay.
The
Slam bang.
slam and the bang of the door.
Okay.
Or
Okay. So
Slam,
now we
bang,
know.
shatter of
Never
his
let
heart.
go of the door
Yeah.
to let the wind grab it and slam
yeah,
it.
it wasn't the wind. It was Paul.
Okay.
It was.
Okay.
Well, at first he said, "It was the hill, Dad."
And
The door
then you
just.
go back.
It's a slope like this.
Yeah, I feel like we've all done that, or at least got the glare. You
Yeah.
know, maybe not with
Yeah.
the big book right in front of us, but we've all slammed the door. when
This
we
is
were
the
supposed to
biggest
slam the door.
blacktail I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
It was absolutely huge, and I'm not saying that because it's the one that got away.
Yeah.
But it was an absolute monster.
Oh, like to see that one
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
huh?
and like if I like the night before open season on deer or something, I just imagine that rack again. If I had a choice again, I would do so many things
Oh,
differently.
yeah. Oh, gosh.
30
We all would do
yards.
things differently.
It
if
was so
we-
close.
we could.
It was pretty awesome.
All right. Well, I just have a couple more questions.
Okay.
Andrew, this one's kind of a fun one. Did you always know that you wanted to hunt when you got to age, or was it something that once you started with your dad that you like felt like you know it really caught a hold of you and you loved it after that?
Can we
Yeah.
both answer this one?
Yes.
I'll let you go first.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can both
okay.
answer it.
Well, I don't really remember when I got into like hunting and fishing and stuff. I just remember like there's like pictures of me just like holding giant fish and stuff, and
Because you've been doing it since you could walk.
yeah, I guess because I have terrible memory and I can't remember stuff like this. But
It only gets worse. Sorry. Just kidding.
yeah, but I remember like just after I got my elk, I really liked just being out in the woods and being so close to these creatures and then harvesting them and eating every bit I could, and I think I liked it after the first time I got an animal, but
You felt like the reward of everything.
yeah, I really
after
liked
that.
it. Like it was pretty good because like I remember all the like training I did, which just shooting a gun so many times over, and I remember with my 22, the summer of my 22, getting a scope on it.
Oh, you're 5.
When I was
6?
5.
5 or 6?
Yeah.
5 or 6
Huh.
over the
Iron
summer.
sights.
Uh-huh.
I had to shoot 6 targets at 60 yards with iron sights 6 times in a row, just straight. And it was I was like in the yard and we were going straight down in that area somewhere. So the whole summer my dad could just sit in his chair. He could listen to a pink, pink, pink.
So you
Oh,
had been
dang
training for a long time.
Yes, and then by the end of the summer I got a scope.
I told him you got to
And-
master iron sights before you master scope.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he would get to the last one.
And the very last
shake
one
it.
was like
Oh, the fright, the
because he
nerves.
would, yeah, because the nerves kick up, and so
and also the thing was the target was like this big and all the other
Yes.
ones were a lot bigger. And it
Oh,
was
so
just
Dad
like,
was making it tough on you.
yeah,
yeah,
it was doable. He finally did
But
it.
you feel like after you shot your first elk is when it really like
Yeah, and
when you
then I
knew
was
you
like-
wanted to be a hunter.
I was like, this is fun. I want to do this a lot now. So I really like
It
it.
hooked ya.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was actually the archery hunting.
Yeah? This
Nice.
year or the year
But-
before?
Well, probably elk 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
The practicing, you know, preparing for elk season. You know, I put a lot more into elk hunting than I do deer hunting
Yeah.
by far.
I like deer hunting because they're just. I don't know. I just like
Easier to pack out.
a
Yeah,
little easier
easier to
pack
drag
out,
to
yeah.
the car.
Yeah, it's a little easier. And I remember one other deer that we got. It was on such a steep hill. My dad could back up. He backed
And
up
just
his
roll it down
truck.
the hill.
We pretty much rolled it down the hill. It was like
I've heard stories like that before.
it was, but we were looking for somewhere to pull over, and my dad spotted that also on the last day in the same area that one was. But It was.
I was looking for a tree to hide behind for a little bit.
I didn't know if that was categorized as embarrassing, so
That's
I
not
was gonna let you
embarrassing.
say that one.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, but
file some paperwork.
yeah, we were calling that one. What did we call that one? Besides the last unicorn, because it was only it was a tiny little fork, and it was only
He only had one. He broke off on the other, so he was just a fork on one
Yeah.
side. But again, he shot and then go boonk right in his track.
Yeah, it was.
No blood trailing.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah.
And
So,
yeah.
Ray, if I had one last question for you throughout all of your time mentoring Andrew, like what has been the one thing that has been the most, is there one thing? Or is it like everything
it's
that has
just
been the most memorable and cherished for you?
I think it's just the time spent. You know, all the time we've ever spent, we're in a boat fishing or we're doing other stuff, but you really don't, or working, you really don't get to do, I mean, it's different when you're out hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I think, especially when you're packing in and hiking all day, and it's just, it's different, and you get it, in a grow, you know, he's changed so much in the last few years, you know, so it's, seeing him develop into a hunter he's becoming, it's pretty rewarding.
Absolutely.
Very rewarding.
Yeah.
So, you know, and watching him pass up on shots just because he didn't, I mean, not this year, we had a bull at 11 yards, and he was with some cows when there was no shot opportunity, and the bull and the cow started walking away, and the bull finally peeled off and turned broadside, and Andrew at full draw on it, and he has a 40-yard pin. He practiced 40 yards. It's just he already said in his mind that 30 yards on a healthy elk was the max shot he wants to take, and to be at a full draw on a 5-point branch bull, and he's running 50
5 by
cows.
6. It was 5 by 6.
Was it 5? I don't know.
It was a big.
It was
one.
a nice bull.
Let's not cut it off now. It was 5 by 6.
Yeah, it was huge.
He's running 50 cows, so I mean he's a good bull, and I'm back behind him, and I'm coaching him, and I'm running the camera, and the camera's second to coaching, so I'm coaching him first, and then second is my camera. So there's a lot of out of focus or moving, but the point is not capturing every bit of it. The coaching is the best part, and so him looking back asked me the distance, and I range find it, and it's 40 yards, and he goes back and he looks through his peep, and then he turns back at me, and this whole time he's at full draw, and the bull's still standing there, and he's like, "Dad, I don't feel comfortable shooting." And I said, "Then collapse your bow, let it down. You know, there's no, if you don't think you're gonna kill it, then don't shoot it." And so.
And how long was I drawn back for?
You were over like a minute. If I play the video back, he's over a minute drawn back on this bull.
Wow.
And so, and I said it might come back. I mean, we were in between two herds. We weren't calling. We got just, I think I moved, and I was like, "Did you hear that, Andrew?" And he's like, "No." And I was like, and then once we stopped, and all of a sudden, these elk were above us, and there was elk below us down the ridge, and we walked right in between two herds and had no idea. It was so loud. I mean, I heard noises I've never heard before.
It was like when cow elk like mews. It was like, but when she inhaled, it was like a snorting noise. It was really
well.
weird.
We were like a little bit farther than me and you away, and these elk were literally over the top of us, yelling at the ones below us, and they're meowing back and forth. It was just,
it just kind of gave you like, it gave you like the shivers, like when it was like, ooh, that was cool. And they were just.
And I was climbing the hill, and I have big old my pack on, and I almost got my camera out, but I was like, oh, I'll get it up once we get up a little bit, because we could hear the elk, but we couldn't see them. So we're climbing up, and I'm like up on this root, and it's like 1 foot. And then elk, all of a sudden they bust over, and they're just standing over the top of me, just meowing, and I'm like, for like 10 minutes, and then Andrew's below me because it's so steep. He's holding my other foot, and I'm shaking so bad because I'm in a horrible low spot, and I couldn't move because if I move, she's gonna bust. And
so I just kind of like slowly hold the foot up, and it
was funny. I feel the pressure against my foot, and I'm like, oh, and then I stop shaking because my leg is literally dangling. I'm only weight on one knee. It was pretty awesome. That was a very good memory. And I've got a little bit on film, not too much, but it's enough to make me smile.
So the time well spent for you is just what it's been about, just the time with him.
I feel bad because my daughter and I don't have that, and it's So I try to find stuff that she wants to do. Like she loves shed hunting.
Oh,
And
that's great.
fishing. And fishing.
Yeah,
Fishing.
fishing. She
Fishing.
loves winter steelhead fishing and shed hunting. And so I was like, well, let's try something that. So I'm gonna do mushrooms. I'm not a mushroom guy, so we're gonna go and so we're gonna start mushrooming next year.
I'll go.
we come across them all the
Everybody
time.
likes looking for stuff and finding things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So-
got a huge family interest is rock hounding. We got agates everywhere here. Like,
Yeah.
I know they're all over the place.
just
You guys
like
have found so many.
agate. It's
And then usually my daughter's like, I want to go agate hunting, and then she finds these big giant
oh yeah,
ones.
there's
She'll find the biggest
huge
one
ones,
to
and
drill.
it's
She's got that lucky touch.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
definitely.
I usually end up having to walk behind her or my dad because then I'm like, it's really funny because like, ooh, agate, you just stepped on it. Ooh, another agate.
It's
Oh,
funny.
huge agate.
Yeah, it's
My
something.
husband has found sheds that I've walked right over before,
Yeah.
and then he'll pick up and be like, "Hello," and then I'll turn around, I'm like, "No," and then I look and he's like holding one.
Oh.
That happened like that happened the first year we brought my sister shed antler hunting with us. It was I can't remember how big it was. It like this size of a shed, right?
It was barely a 4.
Did
Maybe
you
it was
walk
a-
over like a giant one like this?
Oh no, that
You walked right over it. Didn't you see it?
Yeah, that would have been. I want to
Oh,
put,
no.
put that one in my pack and do that. Look what I found! You just walked right over it.
yeah, but I was like I had a machete I think and I was cutting away ferns and I cut away one right and I was like looking over at the next spot to cut and I revealed a nice like little 4-point and my sister's like, hey Andrew, look what I just
She was
found
like-
and I'm like you
She was like 5 years
Antagonizing.
old.
And I was
she
like-
pulls up this giant shed.
and I was like, yeah, I saw that. I totally let you found that one.
That's what
And
you
so
do. You
she's
just
like-
play it off.
Yeah.
So Andrew was leading, Aaron was in the middle, and I was following the kids.
Mhm.
And so like Aaron's like her go-to spots in the middle now. She goes, I want to be in the middle.
Yeah.
But it's
All right.
fun.
Well, let's wrap it up with some really quick. Like I did a podcast once. I can't remember which podcast it was, and she asked me these rapid fire questions at
All
the
right.
end. They were fun. So I
Awesome.
just have a couple. So they're just like 1-2 word answers, really fast. And Andrew, you answer first, and then Dad, you can answer afterwards.
Okay,
Okay.
give me a little bit more
Okay.
time.
Yeah. Okay.
This
But
is
they're
so
super
long.
easy. You're gonna know these right away, just for fun. Okay. Bow or rifle?
I gotta go rifle for now.
Okay.
Bow.
Knew that. Elk or deer?
Elk.
Okay.
Elk.
Elk. Course. Okay. Dream hunt.
Pronghorn. I really want to do a
Ooh,
pronghorn hunt.
really?
I want to do one of those this year, 2019.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the plans. 10 years. Andrew will be 24. We're going to Alaska.
That I forgot about that one. I forgot
Moose
about
hunting.
that. Yeah.
Cool.
So saving up for that one.
All right. Okay. Last one. If you could go on a hunt with any person in the whole wide world, who would it be?
I still want to go with my dad. If I could bring along my sister, that would be awesome too. But my dad and my sister, those are the two people I would love to bring hunting with me. My sister's never gone hunting, and I would just love to be hunting with her. So we have a common interest and something we both could love, and just going hunting with my dad because it's just
My grandma.
yeah.
Well, I can tell how much hunting brings you all together.
Yeah.
What is it? That was like better than the rest of the podcast. The last
do
30
my-
seconds.
I do my grandma every day.
Yeah.
She taught me a lot.
That's pretty special.
So it was a lot of deer hunting memories with my grandma. Definitely.
Wow. You guys are great. That's awesome. Okay, well, to change the mood a little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
Ray,
You got me emotional.
that was really special.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that was awesome. That was wonderful. I want for you to just share where we can follow you and everything online and like what you're up to and
Whew. You go ahead, Andrew.
Well, I just started Instagram.
you
at,
did.
Yeah.
Cool.
Andrew _Kozadar. And I don't have any YouTube channel. I'm just going
Pacific Giants.
Pacific Giants. That's the
It's the family
that's
channel.
the family one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
A lot of stuff on here
Yeah.
right
Family
now
channel.
because that's
Mhm.
the last 6 years. That's
Yeah.
my energy's
Yeah.
been putting into them. So
That's great. And your stuff, right? Is
yeah, Pacific Giant Productions on YouTube and Pacific Giants on Instagram and Facebook.
Cool.
So
Great.
and then Ray Kozadar on the Instagram.
Mhm.
So
Well, I just thank you guys so much for hanging out today and talking about the Mentored Youth Program and just sharing your stories. And it's obvious how much hunting means to you guys both,
Yeah.
and just how special it is, and what a close bond it's created for you guys and all your whole family.
Definitely.
And I hope that you get to go hunting with your sister.
Yeah, I want that 2019. That's
No doubt.
Yeah.
I told her we're not pushing any hunting, but when you want to hunt, we're here.
That's great.
So
Yeah, and, this year she was like, I want to go a little bit. And
Just take her along.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we
Never
did.
knows.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she was like, I don't even really want to go along, but then this year she went deer hunting with us.
Good. Slow and
Yeah.
steady.
Yeah, maybe next
Baby
year.
steps, kind
for,
of.
Yeah, for elk, but that would be cool.
Cool.
So
I like it.
perfect.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Taren, for coming down.
Of course.